This is the second part of the overview of the interface, and today we are going to dive a little bit more into components, into auto layouts, variables, how to create text styles, color styles, styles for grids, and I think we would open some project that I have. It's a website that I have created some time ago, and I'm going to show you how to create some sections. For example, let's take a look at this section. I will just copy this section, and bring it right here. So we are going to talk about this. Next one is going to be something else. Let's take footer. It looks interesting. Maybe let's take also something like this. So the auto layout, you would use it like for almost anything that you create on the screen. So let's maybe combine these three as into one page. And for that, guess what I will use? Auto layout. So I will select three of them and press Shift A, and it created an auto layout. I will just, in the settings, I will reduce the space between these three. Like I can do it like that, like here. I just press here and drag. But it's not always convenient to do that, but in this case it works. Like I can set it to 0. Let's try to create the same sections from scratch. I will just create again the same page. I will not use the auto layout, I will revert to frame. For that I just remove auto layout right here, I press here, and this is just a frame, so it removed the auto layout settings. So, and let me just probably delete this as well. So we will just add some color here. We have some text here. Let's just copy the text like that. I will not like do anything else. Let's copy the button here as well. Let's copy this text, and this, and this, and this, and this. So I'm just holding Shift and Command to select all of them together. And let's copy one icon, one button. Okay, so it created some mess. And what I do, I press Shift A to create an auto layout. Why I do that? Just because I don't want this to be like such a mess. I want to see all the layers separately, and I press Shift A. And as you can notice, like these three, as long as this button is on, these three layers will not use the settings of auto layout. As you can see here by this icon, they are set to this parameter, and all we need to do is turn this button off. And here you go. Let's just remove the auto layout right now. So we just did it because we wanted to separate them from each other. Right now we don't need the auto layout. So we just separate them, remove auto layout, Shift Command G, and that's all we have, right, for this section. Let's do it. We need to make this as a group. You press Shift A to combine them, and open banking is here, and these all, we need to move them, and we need an icon here. So for that, again, we need to combine them together in a group. So Shift A, and this is an auto layout, and I will copy it again here, somewhere here, and I will just copy this text because I don't want to redo the work again. So I already have the auto layout, I don't want to do it again. So I select these two together, also press Shift A to create an auto layout with them, and I set the aligning to the top left corner. And I copy this again and select these two rows and also create auto layout. And right now let's just not focus on the sizing, on the spacings. I select the text and press a Command X, so it deletes the text but still copies it. And I select this and press Shift Command R to replace the text that is here. And the same goes with this one. So it's different. It should be different. Okay, let's do it like that. And one more, a row. So it's going to be, I think it's some mistake or something. It's duplicated. Okay, it doesn't matter. We need now to select both of them and combine them in auto layout. So everything would be combined in auto layout. All you see is auto layout. That's how it should be. And we need to align it to the top. And what we need to do is we need to place this to the left corner and the top corner. For that, I would press Option W and Option A. It just sets it, it aligns it to the left and to the top. And what I need to do is I also need to make it fill the page. And right now I need to also add the grid to the page. So I know that everything is aligned to the right places. So for the grid I choose columns, and I write here 12 columns. For the margin I would use, let's say 20, and the gutter also 20. Yeah, I think this is fine. And right now what we see is that with the text here is touching the edge of the page, so we don't want this to happen. So we select the whole frame. So I would need to click Option L to close all my layers, so you can properly see everything in a normal way. So we select our frame right here. So let's delete this. We select our frame, and we need to add some spacing from the left and the right edges. So that's how we do it, and let's do the same for the top and the bottom. So as you can see, everything is fine. Right now, as you can see, this one is not really aligned. So for that one, we need to manually just do it like that. So it's aligned to the grid. The text should be set to fill, and this just a button. It should take a little more than half of the page. Yeah, so we aligned it. I want this to be filled till the end of the page. I click here and I select fill container. And the same goes for this one. It's already set to fill. This is set to fill. This is set to fill. But I want this also to be set not to this 200.01, but to fill. So it will fill all the space. And I want to do the same for this and all of them. So what I do is I would just select all the frame and get inside by pressing enter or return. I get inside, I select 3 of them together, as you can see in layers, and do it one more time. Press enter again, and I select all of them together inside of each auto layout. And what I do is I press here and select fill container. We have like 2 large space in between, so I would set it to 20 as well. The height in this case will be set to a certain number, like 300. We select all of them again by pressing enter, and we just write manually 300. That's how we do it. And we can see that the arrow right now is here and it should be at the bottom. So let's do it. How we do it is right now, if we highlight this number, it shows us the space between the title and this arrow in each group. We want this to be set to auto. For that, we just can press A like that, and it will be set to auto. In this case, we actually don't have any space between this group and this group. So let's also remove, again, I select all, then go inside and set it to 0. I see that this icon has some space between the line and itself. So what we will do is that we need to also create these lines right here. And for them, we need to create these lines for each group, like this group, and this group. We will select 3 of them, and we create stroke. around, and we set it to the top only, so only at the top we will have it. And let's add some spacing. So we have some spacing, and when we press here, we will delete the space between and set it to 0. But I believe it should be a little bit bigger. It should be 16, and here should be 20 and 24 from the left. So let's do it. We select all of them. Here should be 24, and here should be 16 at the top, and at the bottom it should be 20. We select these three groups, and the stroke, let's make it the same, like some similar color. And what we see that here on the top we don't have any line, so let's remove the line from the top here in this group. And what else? And on here also probably. Okay, so this text and this should be on the same line, and as you can see, this is a little higher than this, so we need to add spacing to this group, because if we add spacing here at the top, it will just push everything together. But we only want this to be lower than it is right now, so we add some spacing here. So how to measure if the spacing is the same? So we select this text, and by pressing Option, we can see that till the end of the page we have 40 pixels, and if we select this, we can measure it's 46. So what we need to do is we need to add 6 more pixels right here. So here it's 46, here it's also 46. So we need to select each group separately. So we go inside and press Enter to select all of them, and we need to add a stroke to the left side of each one. And let's make it the same color, 93 I guess it was. And this is how you would create one section of the page. Let's create a footer as well. Let's just copy like these two buttons and the logo type like that. Let's place it here. So as you can see, all they are separate things. Let's copy this, and this together, place them right here. And what else? So I will just select all of these separately and paste them. Okay. Okay, general company products should be on the top. I don't know why Figma pastes it this way. It's very strange. So as you can see, I don't have anything here applied, like it's just texts and icons all separate from each other. This is also separate from each other. Let's place it here. Place this here so it visually at least looks the same as we need. And we have some text here as well. Let's copy it here. Okay, so what we will do is, first of all, we'll take a look at this and select all of them and place into auto layout. Let's do the same for these, do the same for these. So as you can see, this is a list, and we need to also add the title to it. So we press auto layout again. The same goes here and here. And what we need to do is we need to combine all of them. We press Shift A again to create auto layout. We need to combine these three icons together. We did that. We need to combine them with this text. So we did that. And these two icons together, then these two icons with this text, and then all of these together and set to the left. If it doesn't set to the left, it means that the text has some other properties. Okay, so these two should be together as well. auto layout. And for example, we can place these two into auto layout, and then these two into auto layout, all these in auto layout, and then these in auto layout, select to the top left, and all that to auto layout. So we again align it to the bottom, option C, S, and option A. Or you can do it like that, like here. You can, for example, set it to the bottom and set it to the left. I just use, again, keyboard shortcuts, option S, option A. And then you just fill till the end of the page. This should be set to fill. So we fill all this space. Again, we turn on the grid so we can see how it's done, because we always align everything to the grid, not just abstractly. This should be, I believe, let's see how it's done. So it takes half of the page, right? So what we need to do is we need to make this bigger, like that. Let's delete the spacing here, make it 20, and make this bigger. We can either create the distance between them by using some spacing, or just simply by making the section bigger. It's the same, it doesn't matter really. So this should be also set to fill. So again, all the things that are like these numbers, they should be set either to hug in some cases. In this case, it should be set to fill. And we need to add some spacings. So we need to add 20 here and 20 here. This is done. And this number, I believe, should be something like 80, I don't know. Let's see, 100. Let's make it 100. In this case, how I did it in the same way. So also these groups should take the same space. As you can see, this should be right here. And these groups should take the same amount of space, so these will be they either can be set to fill, or set to a certain number. In our case, I think it will be the same. Let's see. This is set to, so this should be set to fill. It is. This should be set to fill, and these should be set to fill. It is. And so we can do the same here. We just set to fill each group, and inside of each group we also can set everything to fill. So I just will select these groups and go inside again by pressing enter and set it to fill as well. So that the text, when it's long, for example, I write something, it just goes to the second line, right? That's why you use the fill for the text. The same goes here. So this should be set to fill, and this text should be set to fill, which it is already. This should not be set to fill because we just have icons. There are 3 icons. It's all good. This should be set to hug, and the same should be here. So we just make the spacing between these 20 as here, because our grid spacing is 20. That's why we use 20, and make it also the same size. Align it to the grid, half of the page. So this takes half of the page, and this takes half of the page. That's how you create like the design that looks good, and align it to the top. That should, let's make some spacing, like 8. Here, okay, this is okay. And this spacing is 24. It's also okay. Actually, you can see that this is also aligned to the grid, almost. We can make it, let's say 20, and make this like that. So it's exactly the same size, everything is perfect. And this should be set to fill As you can see, now it fills. That's it. So as you can see, it looks maybe not the same, but almost the same, because I didn't like edit the spacing. So this should be the same, of course, like 24. If it says it's, let me do it. If I select all of them and says mixed, it means that here it's 24, here it's 13, here it's 19. So that's why it doesn't show the number. So we need to make it 24, or I don't know, let's make it 16. And the same here, it's 14, let's, I don't know, make it 12 or something. Yeah, and let's, for example, add a line on the top here and make it gray, like that. So here it is. What else? Like, it also, the space in here should be 80 and here should be 100. So let's make it, here should be 100 and here should be 80. So this is our footer. This is how you would create any other section. One thing is this one. Let's take a look how it's done. So what we can see, that this object, as you can see, is set to this position, absolute. It doesn't play with the rules of the settings of the auto layout. You can easily move it as you want. So if you take this, for example, input, you can't move it. If you try to move it, it will go back. As you can see, you can't move it because it plays with the rules of auto layout. But this one, as you can see, it ignores the auto layout rules, and that's why you can place it anywhere you want. In this case, like, I have some even spacing between these two, but for this element I can't just simply place it anyhow else. I just need to make the position absolute. And here you go, like you have like almost like the same page which we created from scratch. It's all auto layout. So as you can see, this is auto layout, this is auto layout, this is auto layout, and inside of each auto layout, all these auto layouts. So that's how it always should be done. Even a button is an auto layout, as you can see. So the next one is going to be components. As I showed you the button right now, this is, you can see that it has this rhombus sign icon, which is also purple color, which means it's a component. We will go to the actual file where I have this original button, and we will go to the component local instance, which shows go to main component, and I click here and it shows me this exact button. So this is the component for button. It doesn't look good, it looks very messy, sorry for that. It's just like a project that was not finished. Let me show you how to create a button. So press T and write the word button, like that. Go closer and press Shift A to create auto layout. Name it button. And so let's maybe add some color, like that. To create it as a component, we either can do, like, press on this icon or press Option, Command and K, right? Option, Command K. And you created a component which is a button. Right now it's like a very simple component. We need different versions of buttons. Usually you would have like at least two types of button, like a small and large. So we copy this, and as you can see, this one is parent. It has this four different squares in the rhombus, and this one just a rhombus. It doesn't have squares inside. So this one is parent, which if you edit, for example, if you change the color will change also in the other component. That's actually how you change it. For example, if I want, let's say in this file, if I want this button and all the buttons that are also black, like this one and also this one here, if I want all these buttons to be red instead of black, that's where I go. I go here, I select all my black buttons, and I change the color to, let's do it like that, right? I will just unlink the color and make it, I don't know, some color like that. And if we go to the website, it should show us that this button everywhere is now red, not black. That's how it works. Here, this one is somehow broken. I don't know why it doesn't change, but the relation between the component parent and the child is broken, or maybe it's not loaded yet. I believe it's broken. So that actually shouldn't happen. That was like some mistake in the process. But in order to do that, all I need to do is reset it, reset the fill, and this is how it works. But so this is how we create components. Also, why do we create components in general? It's first is to change something in one place, and if we duplicate it, if we have the same kind of thing in different places on different pages, this is how you can quickly edit it in like all the pages that you have. Imagine you have not that many pages, but 100 pages or 200, and you have to change the button color in all the places. That's how you also would do like with navigation. So you create a navigation and you then copy it to this page and this page and this page and this page, to all the pages. And if you want to edit it, you go to the parent component, local instance, go to the main component, and for example, you want to change the, I don't know, the logo size, and just make it smaller like that. So I want the logo to be much smaller. So I go here, and here it is, like my logo is smaller everywhere, like on this page and on all of the pages. Everywhere where I use this component is changed. Let's just use a simple, very simple example as a button. We want to create different sizes of the button. We want like this size, and we want a button that is a little bit smaller. In order to do that, we need to create another component. And how to do that? I just simply again copy this component, but then I break it. I separate it from so I detach instance, like do it like that. It's not a component anymore, it becomes just auto layout. And I create it again. I created the component again, Option Command K, like that. And right now these two are separate things, separate components. They are not related to each other, even though have the same name. They are not the same thing, and they are not related to each other. So this one, we will make it smaller. Let's make the text smaller like this, and make the spacing also smaller like that. So this button is small and this one is big. For us to make them as like one big component but different variations of the same component, we will do it like that. We will combine as variants. We will do that. And what I also like to do is I like selecting this component and make it auto layout. Press Shift A, and we have like these settings for the spacing right now. And we also can, for example, add some color here like that, and change this color as well, for example, if you want. I also like doing that, so it doesn't look that bad. Here we have button, and we have some properties. So here you have one property, which is property 1, and this one is default, and this is default. So, and it shows you that the properties and values of this variant are conflicting, because both these two variants are the same. They both are default. So if you change it to default 1 and default, they are not conflicting anymore. This button is large, this is small. That's how we call them. This one is large, so we name it large. And this one, we will name it small. And so the property, to keep it logically clear what we do, we will name it size. So again, for example, if I copy this button, I place it somewhere here. So this is actually already a child of this parent. So all that, both buttons is one component. It's not two different components, it's one component that has two variants. And this is a child of this component. And if you, for example, click on it and go here, it will show you this button. So if you go to this button and here it is the size, you created it. It could be anything actually. You just named it size and you named these like two, large and small. So you can choose small or large. What also you could do is, let's say they will be the same size. So I will just copy the properties from this one, Option Command C, and paste it here, Option Command V, and also from the text. This is 62. Okay, so what if we, for example, make this button blue, and this one we will make it, let's not delete it, okay, let's leave it, and this one we will make it red. In this case, the property size is not relevant. This should be color, right? Color, and this should be not large but blue, and this should be red. What else you can do is you can create different variants inside of this component, like as many as you want. And for example, let's go back. So we will just have large and small, the same button. And we will also create the same two buttons, but with a different color. Let's make these two blue. We have not only color difference, but we also have the size difference. So right now we only have size, but we also want to make them different by color. So we create one more property, which let's make it variant. And this will be called, the name of the property will be color, and one of them will be blue and one red. I just created blue. This one is not blue, as you can see, and this one also is not blue, so we select both of them and write red, and these two are blue. So this one is large, this one is large, and it, as you can see, it doesn't show large. We have to write large. This one is small, and this one should be also small. Okay, so we have the size, we can change it to small, and we have the color, we change it to blue. As you can see, everything works. You can create as many different options as you want. For example, they can be disabled. We copy them again. We add one more property, which is state. So what state? Disabled, hover, regular, blocked, pressed, and let's just make it default. These four buttons, they will be regular, state, regular, and these four, let's make them hover, state, hover. It's when you hover over the button, it changes the color. So let's make it a little bit brighter, like that. So this is hover, and if we, for example, take this button and state is hover, it will just become lighter color. The same we can do with smaller button and red button. One thing that is not good right now in terms of organization visually of this component is that I would just remove auto layout, and I would do it a little bit different way. So how I would do it, I would bring it right here, like that, and probably this also right here. I have to think how to do it. So we have the size difference, these are small, so we can just copy and write small, and this is large, so that we understand what's going on here. This is small and large, right? And this one is regular. This one is regular too. But these two, they are hover. And this one is also hover. You could separate them like that, for example. Let's group them by color. That will be a little bit smarter. Yeah, like this. So this is going to be red, and this is going to be blue. I'll just make it bigger so we understand. So this is a red group, this is a blue group. And we can have like as many of these as we want. Like we can make one more smaller and smaller and smaller, or bigger and bigger and bigger. And we can have different colors, as many as we want. And we also can have different states. So we can not only can have hover, but we also can have disabled. So the disabled button will, for example, look like this or something. And it will be disabled. We will add one more state. We will select these two, and right here under the state, disabled. So as you can see, if we take a button here, state disabled, here it is. I would just visually make it a little bit better. You can organize it, like play with it, but in general this is how you create like a component and properties for it. And the same goes with, for example, any other component. If you create a component, for example, of this one, of footer, call it footer, copy it, and press Shift Command R to replace it. So this is, here it is, like you have a page with this component. And if you want to edit it, you either can do it here, for example, change this color to red, change all the text to red color. Okay, like that. But here it's not changed, because if you do that, it will only change in this component, which is bad. So you want to do it right here. But if you already did it, you would go here and push changes to the main component. If you do that, your main component will also get the same changes, and which means that, for example, let's undo it. So if I copy this, like that. So for example, if I change something here, right? For example, I changed all the black colors to red and all the gray to blue. As you can see, it changes here and here, like it should be. But what if I change all the colors of the text here to black? It doesn't do it here, it doesn't do it here. And what if I want to, again, after that, change these colors to green? In this page, you will see that it changed. This one is an exception because something happened to it, I think. But here, as you can see, it was black and it is still black because I only changed it right here. That's the problem that you might have if you change something in a child component, not in a parent component. In order to just fix this, you just click on the component and press reset all changes, and it will be the same as here. So let's talk about the text styles right now. For example, we have some texts on this page that we created, this one. We have some text right here, and we want these texts, the font, to be the same through all the pages. For example, we create one more page and one more page, and again, it's similar to components. If we want to change this font to, let's say, this one, right here, this one, we then need to go to this page and imagine clicking on all these small texts like that and that and that, selecting all of them together on each page and changing it. So instead of doing all of that, we create one time as similar to component text style. So you just click here, add style. Let's make it headline 3, which means there is a headline that can be bigger, will be 2, and the biggest one will be headline 1. So here it is, and if we duplicate this page like that, if we deselect everything, we will have this one style. If we go here, if you change the font to this one, it will change it everywhere. So as you can see, it changed it on one page and it changed it on another page. That's how it should work. Let's just create headline 1. Headline 1. Make it first. Add one more. Headline 2. So for headline 1, let's see, we will make it 50 or I don't know, 64. For headline 2 we will make it 40 or something. And for headline, oh, this is headline 3. Okay, so this should be 40. And this should be 32, let's say. Also, we need other settings to be also the same. So this is Inter. This should be the same font at least. Usually you would just use one or maximum 2 fonts in one project. Let's make this headline 1. And this also headline 1. So, okay, so at least we just have it the same font. So what else you would do is you would create, after you have some headings, headlines, you would create some maybe subtitle 1, and then again subtitle 2. Unfortunately, you can't copy paste them, like that's what I hate. I don't know why Figma didn't created it. Subtitle 2, and for now I just use the same size. As you can see, it should be like, let's say 24. Here it should be maybe 20, and let's make one more. Then it should be body text, body 1. Maybe you can name them, for example, subtitle large, subtitle medium, subtitle small. You can name it like with numbers, the way that you like. Body 2. So this one, for example, can be, I don't know, 18, and this one can be 16. And so you would also group them, so all the headlines will be in a folder, headlines, and body will be folder body, and another folder is subtitle. You can have some other smaller text. For example, in this project I had these text styles. One is for mobile, one is for desktop, and tag, button, list item were the same for both desktop and mobile. So let's see, for example, in any of them I have headlines, I have these many. Then I have subheading or subtitle, S1, S2, S3, S4, S5. Then I have body, body 1, body 2 short, body 2 long, and so I call them in a name that is clear. Then link. So for links I have a different style of the text. Navigation top, which is this one. So this one is navigation top. This text here, desktop, navigation top, regular. As you can see, this is this one. Desktop, navigation top, regular. This is this style. And I also have the navigation footer. Also title and list. So as you can see, for example, in footer I have a title and I have the list of navigation items. And also I have caption. Caption is just a small text like this one, caption 3. And the same styles are made for mobile, because on mobile this size of the text is not always the same as this one. Usually text on mobile is a little smaller, that's why you would need to create mobile and desktop different styles. But for tag button list, in this case I just use the same style. For the button, for example, you have a button, you would need to create text style which is called button. Button large, button medium, button small, and extra small in this case. List item the same, and tag is things like this. Next one is going to be grid styles. For example, in our case we have a grid right here. To create it also as a style, I will click here, create style, and I like naming it just 1440, just the size of the screen. So if I want to add one more grid, for example for mobile, it will be 375, and I will just have 4 columns like that, and for example the margin and the gutter will be 16. So I create, and here you go, you have like 2 different styles for the grid. For example, if you use some kind of shadow or something, let's do something like some rectangle, make it white, and add effects, drop shadow, just make it like that, just for example. Make it look like that, and if you want to also have this effect, this shadow exactly, for example, you set it up to 4 and here to 3 and here to like 22 exactly. You want this to be saved and applied later on. For example, you have some other rectangle which is, I don't know, red or something, and it's, I don't know, it's smaller, and the shadow for it should be a little bit different, should be maybe like this or something, and maybe should be a little bit red, I don't know, like that. So this is one type of the shadow that you want to use somewhere else again and again, and this another. So you would go here, create it, and name it large white object, something. Large white object, and this will be, let's call it red small object. So we have 2 different types of shadows. As you can see, this icon shows that this is a shadow. Effects, large white object, we applied it for large white object. For example, if we click here, we can select, for example, this one, and it will apply the shadow like the same as here. So for example, we can take this button, which I don't recommend doing it in real life. Don't apply shadows to anything, to buttons or anything else. This is just an example. So we select this one, for example, and you can see the shadow, or we can select another one and you can see another shadow. Yeah, don't do that, please. Let's delete this one. And for example, instead of shadow, we want this object to be with blur. So we would maybe do it like, I don't know, 50%, add blur. The same goes here, so, and make it blurry, but not layer blur, but background blur. And make it, I don't know, like this. So you can see this is a nice blur, like the Apple does it, use it in their devices like that. And we want to also use the same kind of blur. We also go here and add it as a blur for small section. And you can see it here. But we can create also a color style, like we go here and create, but let's say style, and make it text gray. We can apply it to this one. You can see there is no style, so I can select it, text gray, and now it's gray. And if I want to edit it, for example, I go here and make it this color, and you can see all the things change. So you can do it with also colors, but with colors usually you don't do it this way. Right now in Figma there is like a new thing which is called local variables. So you would go here and you would create colors right here, not here. So like this one, you can forget about this way how to create colors. Don't use it. I will show you in another video how to do it with variables, how to create colors right here. So thank you for this video. If you liked it, please write some comments what you think. Maybe you have some ideas, some questions about something, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.